Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to welcome you to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Daily Recap, where we give you a recap of all of the hot topics that we covered that day. You can catch them in their long format and also catch it fully streaming for free on Apple Podcasts. So yesterday, we did a live reacting to some comments that Colin Cowherd had to make on the show, The Herd, that were aimed at LeBron James. And it was startling, to be honest with you, because I had heard Colin Cowherd a number of years ago on, I think, Speak for Yourself, when it was him, Jason Whitlock, Marcellus Wiley. You had Chris Broussard and various others that were Jim Jackson and all these guys that would come on the show. And he would be up there making cases for why LeBron James has had a more impressive career than Michael Jordan and all of that. So when I heard the sound from him yesterday, basically saying LeBron James is an opportunist, he doesn't make you feel anything. He will never be as rich as Michael Jordan. He would never be as popular as him and beloved. I'm like, damn, well, this is surprising to me, because this was definitely not how you were speaking prior to that. So we did a show about that. A lot of people jumped in and reacted to it and gave their 2 cents. Well, apparently, that wasn't the only thing that he did. He also invited fellow colleague on FS1, Nick Wright, to The Herd, to his show. And he essentially reiterated his comments that he made on his show originally that we did last night, where he said what he said about Nick, about Michael Jordan. So he invites Nick on the show, and he essentially begins to tell Nick Wright his feelings about this. And as he's talking to Nick Wright, you can see Nick Wright visibly getting annoyed by Colin Cowherd. And I'm like, this is just absolutely beautiful. Like, this is just absolutely beautiful. I'm like, we got to do a show about it. So what I want to do now is I want to play what Colin Cowherd had to say to Nick Wright yesterday. And I want you guys to take a listen to it. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to Colin here.
Interesting to me, as I said this, LeBron in 2016 or 2019 acknowledged, I'm chasing a goat. I'm chasing a ghost. He played for Chicago. He said, I think in his head, LeBron's like, listen, Michael's more beloved. Michael's net worth is $3.5 billion. Mine's $1 billion. I'm never going to catch him. And the truth is, I'm taking the money. I mean, that's the one. I got more points. My son made the league. I'm taking the money. That I do think there's a part of LeBron that he knows going back to Cleveland, that's a better roster for him. Going back to Dallas, Cooper, AD, coach, that's a better opportunity. But Michael's still in his head, and he's just going to take the money and bleed it out for another year in LA.
Okay. I think I disagree with every single piece of that. So let's go one by one. You did a very interesting. I don't know that I agree with you that next year Cooper Flagg will be already better than Austin Reeves. Maybe, but let's just say that's a push. Obviously, Anthony Davis, yes, is better than DeAndre Ayton. But there's one guy on the Lakers, I'm trying to remember who it was, who you didn't do the tit for tat with. Oh, yeah, Luka Doncic. So who's the guy on the Mavs that cancels out Luka Doncic on the Lakers? I'm just curious. And like, as a crazy thought exercise, like if you traded the best player on the Mavs, Anthony Davis, for Luka Doncic, what do you think the public reaction would be? Who won that trade? Or did somebody get concussed and it was the worst trade in NBA history? So there's that piece of it where if Kyrie were healthy, and then you could talk me into it. But I think Kyrie's going to miss certainly most, if not all, of next year. So then this is why the LeBron money thing to me is so wildly unfair. First of all, he's the only guy in the NBA that has ever asked of this. And we can say, well, he's made the most money, but all of the best players have made hundreds of millions of dollars. And LeBron last year finished 6th in MVP voting, got the 6th most All-NBA votes, and the fact that he makes slightly less than Zach LaVine makes me feel like he's at the very least unfairly compensated in his direction. Steph Curry, who LeBron, by every vote, all the awards, every metric, LeBron was better than last year, is the highest paid player in the league. No one has a problem with it. So there's that piece of it. There's the other piece of it, which is I think a lot of people are acting as if LeBron opted out and took the minimum and then won a championship, that we are all pretending that championship would not have been met with eye rolls and stack the deck and fake title. All of LeBron's titles, by the way, Ray Allen saved him, Kyrie saved him, bubble championship, every LeBron championship, no matter the competition, no matter how well he's played, some folks have tried to put an asterisk on. If he took the minimum to go play for a team that won 64 games, people would definitively try to put an asterisk on it. So I don't think that there was a way for LeBron to do this where he was going to escape criticism.
So you heard their exchange there. What are my thoughts about this? First of all, what he said is hilarious, right? Especially to the person that he said it to. But the bigger question is, and I brought this up on the live yesterday, why now? Why now? Why now all of a sudden? Why now all of a sudden you're saying this? To me, I think the reason that Colin feels comfortable saying this is because I think he believes, and a lot of people believe, that this is going to be LeBron's final year in the NBA. And when great players start to reach the end of their careers, you then begin to find out what people really think about them. I mean, when Kobe was playing, I never heard all of the stuff that's being said about him. After he retired, man, oh man, you really got a chance to hear what people really thought. And once your usefulness is no longer there, in the case of LeBron, I mean, he's no longer going to be the face of the NBA, right? They're going to move on to somebody else. Obviously, he'll be an ambassador, so to speak. But they're going to move on to the player that's currently playing, and that's how it goes. And then after that, next player will be the next player. And therefore, there aren't that many ramifications when you go out there and say these kind of things, because these guys are no longer in the spotlight. Now, LeBron may have his podcast and all of that, but it's not the same thing as playing in the league and being able to control your narrative that way. So Colin saying this, I think, is a preview of what's to come, right? I think it's a preview of what's to come. And I think what's probably going to happen is LeBron guys are going to then take a different role. They're going to go from constantly praising him and twerking it up all day long on TV and hollering and screaming and pouring honey all over the floor. They're going to go from that stance to now finding themselves defending a guy that's no longer playing. I think that's what's going to happen. And I think this is just the first kind of indication that this is where things are going to go. Oh, people are going to start coming out of the woodworks, man. The more time that goes on, the more disrespect kind of begins to come. The only person that's been able to maintain their level of GOAT status, so to speak, or their status, is MJ. MJ through and through has been able to maintain his status. Now, people have tried, they've failed. Oh, Jordan not this, Jordan not that. We're done with the night. None of it worked. None of it worked. The majority of NBA fans still consider Michael Jordan to be the greatest player to ever play the sport. So it didn't work with him. For other players, they weren't so lucky. Right, and I don't think LeBron is going to be an exemption to that rule. I think he's going to be a part of those players that ends up getting trashed by a lot of these guys. Trust and believe. I remember Colin Cowherd saying on the show, Kobe was never the best player in the NBA. Then I had to go back and remember that there was a time when Kobe called into his radio show while he was still playing, and he said, "We got the best player in the NBA on the phone." It's just like that. We've been defending Kobe Bryant a lot on this channel. We've been defending him for a long time, but really, as of now, I got people all over the internet messaging me like, yo, appreciate the good work that you're doing for Kobe, holding it down for him, trying to push back on some of these ridiculous narratives, right? Because Kobe's name has been under attack. And ironically, it's been under attack from a lot of NBA players. Funny enough, and the NBA media, right? And some of us out here have been saying, when are some of the bigger names going to step up and defend Kobe? Right, some other names have stepped up. Matt Barnes stepped up. Byron Scott recently stepped up. Some other Olden Polynice stepped up. Some other guys have stepped up here and there. But we need some bigger voices to come out here and push back on some of this nonsense, because they're trying to literally tarnish this guy's legacy and distort it. And like, well, he was great, but he wasn't really that great. This is what you saw, but let's really like that's what they've been doing. So late last night, I think after we published our last video on the channel, a video pops up of Kyrie Irving. I think, was he on Twitch or streaming or something like that? I don't know what that thing is he does. I don't know if they play video games on there. I don't know if you're talking. I don't know what it is. But Kyrie was doing something like that, live streaming or whatever. And the subject matter of Kobe Bryant came up, right? And if you know anything about Kyrie and Kobe, he doesn't play around with Kobe Bryant. He doesn't play around with him. I'm guessing that's his favorite player of all time, and he's always respected Kobe Bryant's legacy and tried to keep it to keep it alive. So Kyrie Irving doesn't mess around with Kobe, right? Because he doesn't joke with his name. And apparently, Kyrie Irving has been hearing some of the disrespect from some of his counterparts, NBA players in the media. And Kyrie Irving said, "Look, enough is enough." And so what I want to do now is I want to play exactly what Kyrie Irving had to say, and I want to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to Kyrie Irving here.
I'm not letting people revise history. I'm not letting people come on and talk about Kobe like Kobe wasn't one of the best that not only played, but that came in as a 17-year-old against grown men. And by the time this man was 22 years old, he had a few championships and he was busting the best of the best ass. If y'all don't knock that off, I'm talking to y'all at home, the fucking media talking heads, the ones that casually throw names around like, bro, if you don't knock it off, you weren't like that. It's okay. Not everybody could be Kobe. Not everybody could wear those size, you know what I mean, size shoes that he had. Yeah, I'm not going down into detail about this because what's said on the internet and the digital space is said. It's the internet. But when it comes to real respect and real recognizing real, this man, Kobe Bean Bryant, is immortalized not just because of his basketball. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Like, this man, he is way bigger because of the character, because of what we witnessed him go through. We didn't care if we didn't care about certain failures. The real Kobe fans didn't care about the failures. They didn't care about the naysayers. The real Kobe fans, the real Mamba fans that I'm talking to didn't care about who he was competing with. We know who fucked with Kobe and who didn't. I know who fucked with Kobe and who didn't. I'm not going to say I knew Kobe the best at all. I won't say that. You know, I'm not going to disrespect all his relationships. I'm not going to do that. But what I will say is put respect. Put respect where it's due, y'all. We know who Kobe fucked with. That's the thing. We not letting people revise history. At the end of the day, when I look at the way that people are treated when they're no longer here, right? That bothers me. He's not able to sit in front of us and give us the takes or give us the, you know, how he feels about his own takes. But bro, can we just be honest at this point? The man put on the shoes and became 2.0 of one of the greatest of all time play. He obviously is Kobe Bean Bryant, but the man studied the greatest of all time. And this has nothing to do with rankings. This has everything to do with just the culture recognizing, like, right? I'll give you another name, right? That we're not going to allow people to revise history. Hakeem Olajuwon, y'all. Salams to my big brother, man. Salams to Hakeem. We're not going to let people pretend like Hakeem was not that. Before there was a Tim Duncan, there was a Hakeem Olajuwon. Now, I'm not comparing the two. I'm not. But I'm saying, before there was a Kobe, there was a Mike. Before there was a Mike, there was a Julius Irving. You guys got to really, like, just put it in perspective for how I am saying these things, y'all. This has nothing to do with comparing anybody, right? Now I'll give you my 2 cents. Y'all are arguing over who's the GOAT. I don't care. I don't care who the GOAT is. I don't care, because basketball is bigger than the GOAT. And even the GOATs of basketball will tell you that. Basketball is bigger than the GOATs. Basketball is bigger than these media fan votes, these media voted awards. This man, Kobe, had 1 MVP. Why do you think that is? It maybe because we're missing out the context that there was a span of time where nobody really or people were looking at him different, or his peers were teaching him different that y'all don't really know about. Hakeem Olajuwon winning 2 championships when Mike left. The reason why I brought up Hakeem is because he's a Muslim brother in the NBA, playing, fasting, giving people 40 while fasting during Ramadan. Fasting, giving people 40. It's doable. That's what I'm saying. The things that I was involved in, you know what I mean? It's not just involved in, but the things that I've committed to, it has a lot of historical context that we're missing out and that the media fails to add in, right? I don't give a who the GOAT is, but y'all not about to just sit here and just disrespect basketball. People just be saying the wildest takes. Who's the best at this? Who's the best at that? Y'all can have that. But when it comes to the basketball culture, it's bigger than the GOATs. Nobody's bigger than the game.
So you heard what Kyrie said. Let me tell you why this is important. The reason this is important, and it's important that we hear from players like Kyrie Irving with that status, is because it does a few things. Number one, it dispels this myth that, oh, because an NBA player said Kobe wasn't all of that, it's true. No. It dispels those myths because now you have top of the shelf talent saying, no, you guys are crazy, right? So you can no longer use this thing of, oh, I played in the NBA. So a guy like Norris Cole doesn't get to go up there and disrespect Kobe and we listen to him. Are we supposed to take him seriously because, oh, well, he played in the NBA, right? We know what he's saying is nonsense. Qualitatively, it's nonsense. But they get to hide behind the guys of, well, I played in the NBA. So we throw that out the window because now you're getting other players that are more talented than you saying, no, you're on the crock pot. Like you're smoking something hot right there, right? So we throw that away. Secondly, we now start to get another opinion on this. And let me say this. This NBA media, if we're not careful, guys, these guys are going to do a worse job than the media themselves. They came in as a force that was here to correct the wrongdoings of the media. But now it seems in some instances they're even worse. They're even worse because these are supposed to be the guys that have the experience, firsthand experience, and they're just up here spewing all kind of nonsense. Like some of them now they have some good shows out there. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony's show. Those guys do a good job. There are a few others out there that do a good job, but some of it is just nonsense that's being spewed all over the table. And Kyrie Irving, for as good as he is, he's like, no, look, I'm letting you know why. You see, Kyrie's talking about it from a holistic standpoint, not just arbitrary stats that you pick that, okay, we think this stat is important, so we're going to use this. We're going to disregard that, but we're going to use this. These are just human beings. Every stat they chose, there's a bias in it. People think, well, there's just that. No, there's a bias because you're choosing which stats to emphasize over others. And then Kyrie said, no, but we're also looking at the impact. Where was that measured and all of that? Nobody measured that. So you're talking about a player that meant so much to so many people and trying to reduce him down to things like plus minus. They tried to reduce Kobe down to PER, which are imperfect stats. They're trying to reduce him down to that. And Kyrie's like, we're not going for it. We're not going for it. So when you have players at his level calling out the nonsense, now you begin to understand that, no, we just don't agree with it. You see, when I said Bleacher Report's top 100 is a bag of people, oh, you're being emotional. But now a lot of people, so they're being emotional too? No. They're haters of Kobe that look for anything to latch onto to be like, you see, he wasn't that good. That's all it is. That's all it is. If it had their favorite player ranked in a disrespectful spot, they would then say this list has no credibility. But because it reinforces any kind of negative feeling they have towards Kobe, they now try to, oh, it's something important. It means something. It makes no sense, but because it feeds into your argument, you support it. So shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. Kyrie Irving, he like a real dude, bro. Son is like a real person. And and the craziest thing is, the reason Kyrie's talking like this is he's not looking for no bag. He's not running after nobody. Oh, let me say this so I can get it, so I can get this. He's not doing none of that. And a lot of these dudes do that. You're like, I'm not doing that. I'm just keeping it a stack. So shout out to Kyrie Irving, man. Shout out to him for keeping Kobe Bryant's legacy alive, man. I've been saying for the longest time that this media game is rigged, right? This media game is rigged, man. Like, it's rigged, right? It's just a bunch of clicks and a bunch of nonsense. There are a lot of hidden agendas and all of that stuff that go on, right? And now we find ourselves in a situation where NBA players have now bought into the buffoonery. First, they used to say, oh, it was people on TV, the media. These guys were the buffoons and the guys making fools of themselves and disrespecting players. But now I hear more disrespect coming from NBA players towards other greats than even more so than the media. And whenever the media seems to disrespect a particular guy, they just jump on board and keep twerking it up with them. Like somebody just pours honey on top of their table and they just start shaking all over the place, hollering and screaming, right? So as you guys know, Jeff Teague. I don't know Jeff Teague. At first I thought he was a funny dude. Then I started seeing some of this funny stuff he's doing. I'm like, all right. So Jeff Teague, we are at the point where we got dudes like Jeff Teague talking on Kobe. We got dudes like Jeff Teague talking about, oh, Kobe wasn't really that good defensively. I mean, he made 12 all defensive teams because for nothing. For nothing. if Kobe wasn't good defensively and he made 12 all-defensive teams, then who was good defensively? Who? I had an argument with Gilbert Arenas over this. Oh, well, he's speaking from the standpoint of as a point guard, and he's guarding him, and then, that means I'm faster. I'm like, that doesn't mean Kobe's not a good defender. It just means it's a mismatch. Usually it's harder for bigger guards to guard faster players. What are we talking about here? If Dwight Howard gets switched up on Chris Paul in a switch, and Chris Paul crosses him over and makes him fall or blows by him for a floater or something, does that make Dwight Howard a bad defender? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about right now? If Ron Artest gets switched and ends up guarding Shaq and Shaq scores on him, does that make Ron Artest a bad defender? What are we even discussing right now? What are we talking about these days? So Jeff Teague was one of them dudes that jumped out there and started disrespecting Kobe Bryant. But then I found out that Jeff Teague is like another media plant out here. Why? Because Jeff Teague is now another dude talking about, oh, Michael Jordan's not the GOAT, Kobe Bryant and all of this. Now all of a sudden LeBron is great. Then I came across a clip on Instagram by this guy, but I don't remember his account. And he's like, yo, Jeff Teague, we caught you in 4K. That's the name of the video. So I then Googled the video, searched the video that he was talking about. And in one video, you have Jeff Teague saying Michael Jordan's the GOAT. And in the next video, you have him saying LeBron James is the GOAT. Now, here's the kicker. In the video where he said Michael Jordan was the GOAT was only 2 months ago. Recently, what happened was on May 5th, Jeff Teague, 2025, went to go sit down on the $1 million worth of game podcast. And he's talking to Gilly the Kid and these guys, and Wallow and these guys. And they ask him, between Michael Jordan and LeBron James, who's better? And would you believe it or not, folks? Jeff Teague chose Michael Jordan. For those of you who don't believe me, take a listen to Jeff Teague 2 months ago saying Michael Jordan's the GOAT. Take a listen to that.
Yeah, I might.
LeBron or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar? LeBron or Michael Jordan?
LeBron.
Tough. That's tough.
Who you say?
Who you say, Jeff?
LBJ. Who you say?
I gotta go Jordan.
Who you say?
I'm going Mike. Just because how much he dominated his era. And then he made the game where we wanted to be. Like, everybody wanted to be like Mike. I ain't never really heard nobody say they want to be like LeBron.
I ain't mad.
You know what I mean? That's the only reason. But I think LeBron is the most dominant player ever. Yeah. I think he's more dominant than Shaq.
No, the fuck out of here,
what?
Bro.
You can't.
Come on, bro. I'd say LeBron James is a better player than Shaq.
Fantastic. So you heard that. So what happened? 3 weeks ago, 3 to 4 weeks ago, there was an interview that took place on Joe and Jada's podcast where they invited the same Jeff Teague's podcast up there, 520 podcast. And there's a part where they asked him about Michael Jordan and Kobe. We did a show on it where Fat Joe was clowning him because the same Jeff Teague went on there and said, oh, LeBron James is the GOAT 3 weeks later. Take a listen to Jeff Teague here.
Oh, that's it. That's what you want, the viral moment. This is you saying LeBron is better than Michael Jordan?
What? Nah, I'm not. I just think LeBron the greatest. He did everything.
I think you delusional. There's too much delusion. Yo, we can't have top tier people being delusional.
Nah,
we already got everybody delusional out here. You're adding to the schizophrenia. You got this up.
All right,
what do you think, Jada, my business partner?
I don't like to chime in on that. I think MJ's the greatest, then everything after that, however you want to put it. Kobe, Bron, Kobe.
Cool. I'm with that.
MJ is the GOAT of all GOATs.
You seen that?
You can't even put him with
You
that.
see that Utah
Oh, you're saying because of like the moment.
cross mania?
Like,
I'm just saying because he
No, not greater moments. He's better than everybody. You're
you
wearing
see,
his shirt.
Only black and
You wearing his
Latino
sneakers
people do that.
20 years after he was hold
If
up.
it wasn't no Mike, it wouldn't be none of them other niggas. And that's we wrong for comparing Bron with Jordan anyway. Compare Jordan with one of them came out when he came out.
Nah, yeah. I mean, they different eras, but I'm just saying, like, for me,
At this point, we got to compare Jordan to like Messi or like Serena Williams. Or, you know, just we got to compare him against goats of everybody.
like Tom Brady.
Yeah, whatever.
Muhammad
I go.
Ali,
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Nah, yeah, that's how I gotta go. You right. You absolutely right with
You
that.
have got to stop.
No, but think about it. Bron been the man he been the greatest player since he was 16. Like
I love LeBron James. I am a stan, bro. When the Knicks lose,
his own ended. Bron did something nobody else
every
did
year
do.
the Knicks lose,
But I
I jump
mean-
on the LeBron bandwagon once they lose. I love LeBron James. I do believe he deserves all the glory. He is not Michael Jordan. And I don't like this new generation. Sometimes I'm
didn't see
watching.
him.
Hold up, let me say this. No. I'm watching this. This is disrespect. This is all the way free. I'm throwing the foul right now on this. I've seen highlights with young kids saying, look right there, he wasn't really fouled. He scored 2 there. That's how he has 30 in the game. Now, if they would have called the pick, he would have had 2 less points. Have you heard, yo, bro, the man great.
Nah, he great. Yeah, it's him and Bron.
Well, Kobe got something to say
Nah,
about that too. Yes.
Kobe cold, but Bron did, bro. It's crazy.
Let me tell you just a quick.
They both out of high school.
Yo, just a quick
Jada,
story.
I know you don't want to speak on this, but you have to talk. You have to talk.
Thank you.
Bron, yeah,
have
so
to
no,
talk.
Bron, he leads.
Political
he
records. Yo,
scored
we
the
gonna get
most
you a new
points in
record
NBA.
label.
Played the years than anybody.
But they all had the same opportunity.
And he's still averaging
And
25.
I think Bron is incredible. But you can't
LeBron
take
is
nothing
phenomenal.
from Mike or Kobe.
I'm not
Mike
taking
is the
nothing.
blueprint, bro.
Jordan on the Wizards.
At
He was
40,
old.
Bron 40.
Ooh, in a better league.
Let me explain something to you what these people doing. They doing it in basketball and they doing it in hip hop. Okay, they come in here, they're smarter. And so they come in here and they say, all right, Jordan averaged 28 points a game. Let's just say, I think it's 32 or something, right? I'm going to score 33 to 34 every game. Cool. Jordan, that's why all of a sudden LeBron said he ain't chasing rings. Whoa.
He out of pocket.
He been chasing them rings. That's all we seeing. We don't even know if LeBron is better than Steph Curry.
So you heard Jeff Teague. Within a 2-month window, this guy went from calling Michael Jordan the GOAT to LeBron James the GOAT. Then people started telling me, man, you know, Jeff Teague represented by Klutch Sports. Jeff Teague represented by Klutch Sports. I'm like, oh, it makes sense now. It makes sense now. The flip-flop, it makes sense now. Shannon Sharp at one point in 2011 was talking about the only people next to God is Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. 6-7 years later, Kobe Bryant is number 9. What happened? Steven Jackson and Joy Taylor was on TV talking about, oh, I heard that Shannon getting money under the table to basically call LeBron James a GOAT. Then all of a sudden his opinions switch. That's the new hustle. This is, and I don't understand why for dudes that's supposedly supposed to have money are doing this. If you dudes got money, why are y'all doing this? Why y'all doing this? People are talking about, oh man, Bleacher Report for real. Bleacher Report is owned by the same company that owns Uninterrupted, Warner Brothers. And Uninterrupted was launched on Bleacher Report's platform. So if Uninterrupted, which is LeBron's show, gets launched on Bleacher Report, you don't think there's a conflict of interest there? Where LeBron's rival gets ranked all the way at number 11, and then LeBron is number 2? You don't think? And then they say, oh, LeBron only lost by 1 vote. So this is what we're doing now. Dudes with a bag doing crazy stuff for a bigger bag. I don't understand what this is, bro. I don't understand. Yo, I don't understand what this is. I was born in Maryland, grew up in the Bronx, New York. Later on moved to Yonkers. These dudes that's doing this, I never met these kind of dudes in my life. I never did. in the BX in Yonkers, when I went to art and design, when I was in PS37 in junior high. I never met these kind of dudes. I don't know where you find these dudes at, bro. Maybe it's just something different about New Yorkers. New Yorkers are too real for this. I don't know what this switch up is. Shout out to the podcast. Is it they rock with us too. We under the same. We work with some of the same company. I forgot the name of them. I want to give them a shout out if I can find their page. They're a New York based show. Sometimes I post their videos on the channel from time to time. I can't find it right now. I think it's All Ball TV, right? I think it's All Ball TV. Yeah, I think it's All Ball TV. Y'all can go check them out. But go watch those dudes. Go watch those dudes talk about basketball. And then look at people like Jeff Teague. Yeah, it's All Ball TV. Shout out to them, man. Go watch those guys talk about basketball. And then go watch these Jeff Teagues and all these other weird ass that we got going on over here. There's a realness to it. Where all this other like a bunch of goofy going on. I'm like, what is this? What is this new goofy era we in? What is this? These antics that are being played. What is this? I don't understand, man. I don't understand where we are right now in time. It's like the goofy stuff is reigning supreme. I don't understand, bro. I never met this type of behavior, bro. I never encountered it, ever. Even people that I didn't rock out with, I never ran across people that do this stuff. So I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know where it is coming from, bro. I don't know. I don't know, man. Y'all let me know in the comment section. I don't know. So as you guys know, some of us have been clamoring for some of the top of the shelf players to call out the nonsense and the disrespect towards Kobe Bryant. Like, a lot of us have been waiting for it because it's beginning to run rampant right now. And the latest example of this disrespect towards Kobe was this Bleacher Report list, a list that has gotten this entire company destroyed all over the internet, which goes to show you it was a bad list. If you have to put out an explanation the next day because of your list to explain your reasoning, it's a bad list. The same Bleacher Report said LeBron lost out from being voted the GOAT by 1 vote. Had they done that, you think the vitriol that they're receiving now is bad? Let them had made that mistake to do that one. They would have lost thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers. It would have been that bad, right? I mean, it was terrible, right? It was terrible. And a lot of us have reacted to it. Some people try to defend it, but they couldn't defend it. So what happened? We were looking for what to discuss. Then Mitch sends me over a topic of some comments that Dwyane Wade made about Kobe Bryant. Now, Dwyane had said some crazy stuff about Pau Gasol supposed to be voted MVP, and a lot of us pushed back, like, what are you talking about? Even Kendrick Perkins, like, D-Wade, knock it off, man. Like, knock it off. You're adding to this, you're contributing to this Kobe disrespect. So I tuned into a segment rather, from Dwyane Wade's channel, his podcast network. And I think one of the people he hosts the show with, I think it's his brother or somebody like that. And the name of it's called Dwyane Wade, right? That's the name of the channel, Dwyane Wade. So they recently released an episode where they were reacting to Damian Lillard to Portland, CP3 to the Clippers, Ali versus Shields, and Bleacher Report's top 100. Well, apparently that list, they had also ranked Dwyane Wade number 23, and I don't remember the players that they had ranked ahead of him. They have Kevin Durant ranked ahead of Dwyane Wade, bro. KD is ranked, bro. That's crazy. Anyway, so they did that. And then Dwyane Wade decided to respond to it. And then he started to respond to the comments that were made about Kobe Bryant. And Dwyane Wade essentially said that the Bleacher Report list is essentially idiotic clickbait. And these people should never be taken seriously. For those of you who didn't hear what D-Wade had to say, want to play it for you now, and then want to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to D-Wade here.
I know you're not a big fan of these player rankings. You know, as fans, we love
rankings. My God, these player rankings. No.
We love rankings. But now you see like this most recent one where they got Kobe outside of the top 10, and I know
Who did what?
they got Kobe outside of the top 10 100 players.
Who is they, Bob?
Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report. Okay, because people throw they out there and then they make random sources.
I'm gonna say their name. And so now, how we feeling about just? Is it a
clickbait?
It's clickbait because Kobe not in the top 10.
Clickbait.
Somebody reached out to me. Our guy Remy. Shout out to Stan Remy.
Remy.
A lot of people reached out to me, but the one person I commented back with when they asked me this question was Remy. He asked me, he's like, "How do you feel about this?" And he was talking about me being ranked 23rd. And I told him,
great number by the way, 23. Great number by the way, 23.
One of the
greatest. Hey.
That I was 23rd out of 100, right? And so they had me ranked at 23rd, and I told them, I said, man, I don't care about that stuff. I said, it literally means nothing. I said, listen, I've gotten everything out of this game. I'm still eating out of this game. Mm-hmm. And I said, and that's just someone's opinion that's never played a game at our level. Mm-hmm. So you can't put nothing on it. Like I saw so many think pieces, so many people really like up in arms about, and it was really about Cole being on the outside of the top 10. And I'm just like, yeah, if you want to ask us hoopers who played against Cole, we talking, all of us gonna talk top 3.
Facts.
Like we all gonna talk 3 if you played against Mamba. But from someone's opinion that's never played against Kobe, has never played a game of basketball at the level that we played at, having them at 11, okay. Why am I up in arms about something like that? I remember when Kobe was alive. They had rankings when he played in the league and they had him low. I remember one year and Kobe addressed it. Like, who is these idiots? Like, why would I listen to these idiots? And I'm not calling the person who did this an idiot, but what I'm saying is when someone does something like that, Kobe was like, this is idiotic to me. I remember that when he was alive in the NBA, still going, they ranked him lower than he probably should have been. So as players, we know who are some bad boys, but also like D. Wright said, it's hard when you're trying to rank all the players that's ever played the game of basketball and you've never seen them play. So you're going off of what statistics that's on a paper. Yeah. And that's hard to rank somebody like that. So like, what are the rankings? Like, how do you come up with these rankings? Do you throw names in a hat and pick them out? Or do you just go by statistics? Because it's a lot of people statistically going to look better than someone ahead of them or someone lower than them going to have better. You can't do it. It's not championships. Like It has no rhyme or reason necessarily. It's who's someone's favorite player and their style of play, so forth and so on. And that's why they decided to do it. So for me, I always tell people, I'm a kid who grew up watching this game. I'm a kid who grew up in the inner city. I grew up playing on a crate. That's how I learned how to play basketball, on a crate. If you're telling me that my name is going to be mentioned in any rankings of anyone's of the greatest that ever played a game of basketball, I'm cool with that. I don't care where you put me because really it doesn't matter. I'm cooked. My career is cooked already. It do not matter where you can put me at 23 or 20. It don't matter. It's over.
You heard what he had to say. Again, if Bleacher Report's list made sense, why is everybody calling it stupid? Why? If something is good, why are so many people saying it's bad? So many people. You have people that are not even Kobe Bryant fans calling it stupid. That's how bad it is. Dwyane Wade called it clickbait. It is clickbait. That's at the core of it. It is clickbait. For you to have a list of 10 players that play basketball and Kobe's not included, you're clickbaiting people. And they did it for the exact reaction that they got, which is this. That's the fundamental reason they did it. So when you heard him say, oh, players call him top 3, I'm surprised Gilbert Arenas is making this argument. Gil is saying, oh, they're using the metric. What metric are they using, Gil? What metric? What metric? PER? Plus, minus? Really? This is what we're doing now? Before they invented plus, minus, didn't you already understand that Michael Jordan was the GOAT? Or you needed plus, minus to explain this to you? Or MVP win shares to explain that to you? Then you're an idiot. You don't deserve to be watching basketball. If you need these metrics to determine whether or not these are good players, then you don't understand. You don't need to be watching basketball, bro. You can turn on a TV and quickly understand who's good and who's not. But they're trying to turn basketball like as if we're doing thermodynamics or something. Oh, man, it's so sophisticated. What's the sound that Stephen A. Smith said? that Daryl Morey, after losing the playoff series, he went to the owner and said to him, yeah, we lost the game, but if you look at the analytics, we won. This is what we're relying on? This is what we're relying on? They're trying to turn basketball into some like we're out here solving equations and all of this. What are we talking about? Stats can tell you anything you want them to tell you. What did Kenny Smith say? There are 3 types of lies. Lies, damn lies, and stats. Because stats, you can make them tell you any story you want them to tell you. You can. How do you do that? Just pick the stats that favor your argument. Duh. Duh. That's how you make them tell you the story you want. Pick any stat that supports any bias or opinion or hypothesis you have, and you will tell a story. This is the problem with stats. This is the problem. And what these people are trying to say is surrender your good reasoning. Surrender what you saw to my stats. And people are like, no. No. Because for the same people that say if you play against Kobe Bryant's top 3, they're also saying LeBron. So you agree with that, right? But you don't agree with that. Obviously, because it doesn't support your original bias. And these guys, believe, man, they're lightning you. Oh, yeah, they're lightning you. Oh, man, I'm going to hear them. But, man, sit your ass down. Y'all ain't, come on, stop. We're not, we're not sitting through a lecture at MIT. Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off. You have people that have a very high worldview of themselves, trying to make themselves feel smart, so they did this. Come on, knock it off, man. Knock it off.